Would you like to create a three-dimensional interactive card, but you're not quite sure how to get started? Well, today I have two unique 3D pop-up butterfly card ideas to share with you. These simple and fun little card ideas are sure to wow your family and friends. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, you will learn a simple little accordion fold that you can use to create a butterfly pop-up section on the inside of your card. But we won't stop there. I will also show you how to create a card within a card that also has a three-dimensional pop-up section. It's super fun and simple. You will love the versatility and the simplicity of the three-dimensional pop-up card ideas. By the end of this video, you will have some unique card making ideas and a three-dimensional pop-up butterfly card template that you can use to create all sorts of fun pop-up cards for any occasion. Just get creative with it. For the latest card making ideas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell so you will be notified each time I upload a new video. Now, butterflies are one of my favorite images to create cards with. I'm drawn to their beauty and elegance, so I find myself using them quite often in card making. Do you have any favorites? Leave me a comment below and let me know what type of images you tend to be drawn to for card making. Card number 1, the three-dimensional pop-up butterfly card. This first card is a quick and simple card design that has a fun little pop-up section on the inside of the card. All of the supplies used to create the card were cut from different patterns of paper from the new Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper pack. This Designer Series paper, or DSP, is free with a $50 purchase during Celebration. Not sure what Celebration is? Well, it's Stampin' Up's biggest sale of the year, and it starts January 3rd, 2019, and it runs through March 31st, 2019. You can learn more about this fabulous sale by clicking on the link in the description below this video. So let's start by prepping our supplies for this first card. We will start with the supplies for the outside of the card. Cut a 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece of basic black cardstock. Score the 8.5 inch side at 4.25 inches to create the base of the card. Next, cut a 5.25 by 4 inch piece of the colorful butterfly pattern paper from the Botanical Butterfly DSP pack. Cut a 2 by 4 inch piece of the black gingham pattern paper from this paper pack. You will also need a set of layering ovals cut from a piece of black and white cardstock. So be sure to cut an oval that is large enough for the sentiment that you plan to use on your card. You will also need a stamp set. I am using a new stamp set called Beauty Abounds. This stamp set will be available in the Occasions catalog beginning January 3rd. And finally, you will need some black ink and some type of ribbon. Let's prep the supplies for the inside of the card. Cut a 5 by 8 inch piece of white cardstock. Score the 8 inch side at 4 inches. Cut a 1.5 by 8.5 inch piece of the polka dot pattern paper from the Botanical Butterfly DSP pack. Score the 8.5 inch side at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8 inches. Now, I also used a new punch called the Butterfly Duet Punch to cut out 4 butterflies from one of the pattern papers in the Botanical Butterfly DSP pack. The butterflies are already colored for you, which makes it super easy to punch them out and use them on your card. All right, I think we are ready to get started. So first we will start by decorating the outside of the card. Adhere the pretty butterfly pattern paper to the black card front. Next, adhere the gingham paper to the bottom of the butterfly paper. Stamp a sentiment on the white oval and adhere it to the scalloped black oval. Adhere the sentiment to your card front with a few dimensionals. For the finishing touch, tie a bit of ribbon into a bow and adhere it next to the sentiment with a few glue dots. Now let's create the pop-up section on the inside of the card. Grab the 5 by 8 inch piece of white cardstock and add some adhesive to the back of it. I recommend using a stronger adhesive such as tear and tape to ensure a firm hold. Open up the black card base and lay it flat in front of you. Adhere the white cardstock to the inside of the black card base. Next, you're going to stamp a sentiment in the upper right-hand corner of the card using black ink. Now let's create the accordion fold. Take the polka dot designer series paper piece and fold it in half so that the polka dots are facing outward. Then fold each of the sides towards the middle so the polka dot patterns will be touching each other. Add a bit of tear and tape to the end pieces and you will be adhering them one at a time to the white cardstock. Line up one end of the polka dot DSP with the end of the white cardstock and adhere it to the card. Now take the other end of the polka dot DSP and line it up with the other side of the white cardstock and adhere it. You have just created the little pop-up section of your card. It's a simple little accordion fold for the inside of your card. For more accordion fold card ideas, be sure to check out my latest video where I used the accordion fold to create an interactive regular size card. Okay, now let's add the little butterflies. You can use glue dots or dimensionals to add the butterflies. If you would like the card to lay flatter, then I recommend glue dots instead of dimensionals. Simply adhere a little butterfly to each of the 4 sections of the polka dot pattern paper. You can adhere them straight across the pattern paper or adhere them to the card on a slight angle for a fun look. That's it. It's a super fun way to create a pretty little pop-up card. And you can use this pop-up card idea to create all sorts of cards for any occasion. Just change out the supplies that you're using. So what did you think? If you enjoy interactive fun fold cards, give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment below. I would love to know what kind of card making videos you enjoy watching. Card number 2, the stepped up 3-dimensional pop-up card. Now this next little card is a stepped up version of card number 1. The concept is the same, however, we will be creating a card within a card. Now this card within a card will contain the pop-up section on the inside. Now don't worry, it's a very simple card to create, but it has a fun little twist that I'm sure you're going to love. So let's start by prepping our supplies. We will start with the supplies for the outside of the card. Cut a 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece of Highland Heather cardstock. Score the 8.5 inch side at 4.25 inches to create the base of the card. Next, cut a 5.25 by 4 inch piece of black cardstock. Cut a 5 by 3.75 inch piece of the beautiful black and white butterfly pattern from the Botanical Butterflies DSP pack. Cut a 1.5 by 3.75 inch piece of the polka dot pattern paper from the Botanical Butterflies DSP pack. A set of layering ovals cut from Highland Heather and white cardstock. Now let's prep the supplies for the inside of the card. Cut a 5 by 8 inch piece of white cardstock. Score the 8 inch side at 4 inches. Next, cut a 3.75 by 4.75 inch piece of the pretty lavender pattern paper from the Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper pack. You will also need a set of layering ovals cut from black, Highland Heather, and white cardstock. You will need a 1.5 by 8.5 inch piece of the polka dot pattern paper from the Botanicals DSP. Score the 8.5 inch side at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8 inches. Cut a 3.25 by 3 3/4 inch piece of black cardstock. Cut out 5 black and white butterflies from one of the pattern papers in the Botanical Butterfly DSP pack. I used the butterfly duet punch to cut out the butterflies. You will also need 2 markers for coloring. So I am using some stamping blends, the light shades of Highland Heather and Daffodil Delight to color my butterfly. And of course you will also need a stamp set. So we are going to start by decorating the outside of the card first. Grab the piece of black and white pattern paper with all of the butterflies on it. We're going to do a bit of coloring to create the focal point on the front of the card. Start by coloring the large butterfly on the upper part of the card. Use the light shade of the Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend marker to color the tips of the wings and the center of the butterfly. Color in the rest of the butterfly using the light shade of the Highland Heather Stampin' Blend. Once you have completed your coloring, adhere the pretty butterfly pattern paper to the black cardstock. and then adhere the entire piece to the Highland Heather card front. Next, adhere the polka dot pattern paper across the bottom of the butterfly paper. Adhere the strip of black cardstock across the top part of the polka dot paper. Be sure to overlap this piece onto the pattern paper. Next, stamp a sentiment on the white oval and adhere it to the scallop purple oval. Adhere the sentiment to your card front with a few dimensionals. Now for the inside of the card, we are going to create a card within a card. And of course, another 3D pop-up section. Grab the 5x8" piece of white cardstock. Fold it in half to create a card. We are going to start by decorating the front of the white card. Adhere the purple pattern paper to the front of the card. Stamp a sentiment on the large white oval and then adhere the purple and black layers to the back of the white oval to create the accent for your sentiment. Adhere the ovals to the center of the purple pattern paper. Now grab those 5 black and white butterflies. Color each of the butterflies using the light shade of Highland Heather and Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends. Adhere one of the butterflies to the bottom part of the oval. Now open up the white card and stamp a sentiment in the upper right-hand corner using black ink. Now let's create the accordion fold for the pop-up section. Take the polka dot DSP piece and fold it in half. Then fold each side towards that middle fold so that the polka dot patterns are facing each other. Add a bit of tear and tape to the end pieces, and we are going to adhere one piece at a time. Line up one end of the DSP with the end of the white cardstock and adhere it to the white card. Line up the other end of the polka dot DSP with the other side of the cardstock and adhere that piece. Now you just created the little pop-up section of the card. Okay, now let's add the rest of the butterflies that you colored. You can use glue dots or dimensionals to add the butterflies. If you would like the card to lay flatter, then I recommend using glue dots instead of dimensionals. Simply adhere a little butterfly to each of the 4 sections of the polka dot pattern paper. Now add a bit of tear and tape to the back of the white card that you just created. Open up the purple card base and lay it flat in front of you. Fold the white card and line up the 2 score lines, the score line in the center of the Highland Heather card and the edge of the white card that you created. Use that center fold in the purple card base as a guide to line up the white cardstock. Once you have it lined up, now just fold the purple card front down onto the white one. That's it. Now we have just created a stepped up version of the first butterfly card I shared with you. It's almost like having 2 3D pop-up sections inside one card. Now I love both cards, but I think the card within a card is probably my favorite. Which one is your favorite? Leave me a comment below. I would love to know your thoughts. And if you are excited about these projects and you would like to learn more about Celebration, then be sure to download my printable tutorial. The tutorial features a complete supply list and step-by-step instructions for creating all of the projects I have shared with you today. You can find the link in the description below this video. Now you have 2 fun 3-dimensional pop-up butterfly card ideas that you can create with any butterflies that you have on hand. Of course, you can also change out the supplies and use this 3-dimensional pop-up card idea to create cards for any occasion. Just get creative with it. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the projects shared here today. Have fun getting creative, take care, and I'll see you soon.